my YouTube channel where I post content to help teachers during this 2020 school year. If you are back in school, you look and sound just like this. But if you're not, then you're probably still teaching online. And if so, check out my last video that has some tips and tricks to help you. But if you're like the rest of us, then you are talking through a mask all day. And I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think the masks are going away anytime soon. And they are not built for communicating. Teachers were not built to wear masks, especially when talking to students, to kids. Like, are you kidding me? If you're like me and you're back in school wearing a mask, then you're probably struggling with a couple of things. You're struggling with students hearing you, students understanding you, you hearing students and understanding them. The fact that these masks are covering half of your face. They can't see your facial expressions, they can't see your emotions, you can't see theirs. Not to mention that the masks seem to prevent you from talking more. I don't know about you, but me personally, I've been out in the grocery store and I've found myself wanting to say something to somebody and I just can't because I feel like there's a block across my face and it's like I'm prohibited. So there's no doubt that your students are feeling the same way. Well, I have 3 ways to teach around wearing a mask. 1 is motion, 2 is teaching through your voice, and 3, which is my favorite, is through materials. Number 1. Motion. The first way that you can teach around wearing a face mask is through motion. Does anyone recognize this? A lot of times, teachers teach their students to use this sign as a symbol of, I need to use the restroom, or I need to get a tissue, or I need a drink of water, because that allows the teacher to know what the student needs and dismiss them quietly without disrupting the rest of the class. Well, Edutopia came up with 5 different hand signals to facilitate your discussion. I agree. I disagree. I have a question. I can add to that. I can paraphrase. These are stupid and silly ways, but they help your kids when it comes to discussion in big groups and you all have masks on. It also gives you a head start to know what your students are going to say, because when they have the face mask on, you don't know what's going to come out of their mouth, but when you see the signals, you already have a head start in knowing what they're going to say and what's going to come out of their mouth, whether it's going to be positive, negative, do they have a question, do they want to add on to something that was already said. Next, try and teach your students to smile with their eyes and their eyebrows. My 2nd grade teacher was teaching us one time all the muscles in the faces, and she put up a book in front of her face and she said, try and guess what faces I am making. Of course we could guess them. Was it ideal? No. But is it possible? Yes. And it's the same way with your kids and their face masks. So what I like to do is I like to go up to my students while I'm wearing my face mask, and they are too, and I like to smile at them. Because they can still see my eyes, they see my eyebrows, and this tells them I love you and I care about you, you're doing a good job, and I see you. Even though we're wearing face masks, I see you. Next is TPR, total physical response. TPR is teaching through actions. So let me show you and see if you can see the difference. Which one am I teaching with TPR and which one am I not? Today we are going to work on paraphrasing. When we read, it's always a good idea to pause now and then to ask ourselves how well we understand what we're reading. One way to check understanding is to try to use our own words to restate what we think the author is saying. Today, we're going to work on paraphrasing. When we read, it's always a good idea to pause now and then and to ask ourselves how well we understand what we're reading. One way to check our understanding is to try to use our own words to restate what we think the author is saying. Do you see what I mean? Using TPR can help your students understand better what you're saying through motion. They might not pick up on every single word that you say, but with hand motions and with body language, they can put together what it is you're trying to communicate. Lastly is silent modeling. Silent modeling works really well with your older kids. Have you ever noticed that when you're lecturing or when you're talking or you're writing on the board, the kids are listening, but they're looking over, they're looking in their laps, they're doodling, and they're not really paying attention, but they're listening. So they think they're paying attention because, well, I'm giving some kind of effort, I'm listening. Well, try this. Show them what they're supposed to be doing without saying one word. Silent model. Because when students when students don't hear you saying anything, they look up and they're like, okay, what are we doing? What are we supposed to be doing? I don't want to miss anything. Did I miss instruction? What are we doing? That's how you not only get their attention, but that's how you teach through the mask. Number 2, use your voice. Listen, teachers, students are tuning us out. Yeah, it's a shock to me too. Tell me about it. But listen, the more and more we're repeating content of the same thing over and over and over, the more they're just wanting to tune us out. So now more than ever, it's time to start talking less through our masks and simplify. Also, a great tip is to talk slower, louder, and with variation. Let me show you. Today we are going to learn about shades of meaning. Some words have meaning that are similar but slightly different. These words are related to the same concept, but they describe different degrees of that concept. We call the differences shades of meaning. Do you think your students understood a word you said or were even interested in any word you said? Let me show you how to do it. Today, we are going to learn about shades of meaning. Some words have meaning that are similar but slightly different. These words are related to the same concept, but they describe different degrees of that concept. We call the differences shades of meaning. See the difference? Which one do you think your kids are going to pay attention to and understand what you're saying through this mask? Lastly, if you've got a larger than normal group or you've got students who are hearing impaired, maybe you just want to go out and invest in a clear mask. And honestly, you can find them right here on Amazon. Number 3, and the last tip to help you teach around face masks, is using materials. It's my favorite. The worst part about wearing these masks that I'm hearing from all professions really is the dehumanization that it's causing. I mean, you can't see each other's faces. You don't know how people are feeling. You can't see their expressions. And I mean, think about the poor kids that are just now joining a school for the first time. They don't know anyone and they want to make friends, but they can't even see other kids' faces. I mean, how sad is that? So something that I did that's really silly, but the kids like it, and honestly it's been a huge effect, is I have printed out everybody's picture and put them on popsicle sticks. If you let the kids go around with these, you put them on their desks, you let them take it to the playground. This shows all other kids that, hey, this is what I really look like. This is me. So don't be confused by the mask because this is really me. It's a great way for the kids to get to know each other even while half of their face is covered. Another thing that you can do as the teacher is to let the kids know that you're not as scary as you might look, is create a welcome video, just like my friend Miss Bacon did.
If you agree. My name is Miss Bacon and I teach 3rd grade. All the scholars in my class listen as I serenade. My fiance is John and we get married soon. Look at our dog Sammy, I bet you all will swoon. My favorite color's green and I love to sing. I love to play softball, here watch me swing. This year you will grow and I know it's gonna show. You got this in the bag, you already know. Welcome to my class, we're gonna have a blast. Welcome to my class, we're gonna have a blast. GCA is the place to be. Clap your hands along if you agree. My name is Miss Bacon and I teach 3rd grade. All the scholars in my class listen as I serenade. I am trilingual, Spanish and Portuguese. Helping others is great, one of my top priorities. We're ready for the school year, we've worked so much to make sure you're safe and learning a bunch. I'm gonna give my best every single day to show you are loved in every single way. Welcome to my class, we're gonna have a blast. Welcome to my class, we're gonna have a blast.
Gets me every time. Well done, Mrs. Bacon. Thank you so much for that perfect example of what it looks like to demonstrate to your kids that I'm friendly. I'm excited about this school year, even though we're going through the struggles that we're going through. So another tip that I like to use is what's called a temperature check. And you can do this at any point in the day. Usually in the morning is when you do it, or if you have a break, or you just feel like maybe you need to. But remember what I was saying about you can't really tell how kids are feeling because you can't see their face. So I have given out to all my students these little yellow faces called emojis. In the beginning of the day, I asked them, all right, everyone hold up your emoji that you're feeling. And they've got sleepy, they've got silly, they've got happy, mad, laughing, and sad. This also kind of lets you know as the teacher where you're at for the day and how you should maneuver around your instruction. Because if you've got kids who have mainly been holding up the sleepy, then you know that you need to add some jumping jacks. You know that you need to add a song. You need to add something to wake those kids up. If you have kids that either hold up the sad or even the mad face, then you know that you might need to pull them aside and maybe have a little conversation. Because believe it or not, this time has been affecting everyone, no matter what age. Okay, my last idea that I came up with is to use different face masks to let the kids know what your expectations are. So my first one, I wrote on my face mask, pen drop. When I wear this face mask, these kids know that it should be as quiet as a mouse, and then I should be able to hear a pen drop. So I'll wear this when we're taking a test, when we're doing a quiz, when we're just doing silent time, or honestly when I have a headache and I just need everyone to be quiet and do their work silently. Pen drop. My next one is round table. I wear this one, round table. I wear this one when it's discussion time. So make sure you have your chart out with your 5 different signals. Round table means, hey, it's okay to talk right now. It's discussion time. This one I wear every morning. It is my good morning mask. This is used when we do our daily routine. So my kids come in, they unpack their bags, they write in their agendas, and they do whatever bell work I've assigned them in the morning. But if they see me wearing this mask, then there should be no excuses. They know what's expected of them because I'm wearing my good morning mask. That means morning routine. The last one I have, and probably my favorite and most needed, is my walking no talkie. I wear this mask when we are out in the hallways, walking outside of our classroom. Because what do I expect? I expect our arms here, our lips closed, and to be straight in line. So again, there should be no excuse that we're walking and talking. Okay, I actually have one more bonus tip for you guys that I feel is pretty important. And please don't get me wrong, I definitely want everybody to be safe and wearing their face masks and social distancing. Absolutely. But I would say that in your classroom, personally, I would not put face masks anywhere that they don't need to be. So for instance, putting face masks on your stuffed animals in your classroom or on illustrations in your presentations, I just don't think it's necessary because the whole point of this is to try and reverse the negative effects that it's having. So why put masks on things that don't need to have masks on them in your classroom? Once again, please hear me out. I'm saying that we need to social distance and we need to wear our masks. But just to be careful, as we don't want to dehumanize our students so much to where it's causing this negative effect on them. And so that's my bonus tip. Thank you so much for watching, and if there's any content that you would like to see on this channel, put it in the comments below.